Hey everyone, welcome back to Haunt After Hours, where we pay tribute to the work, chaos, and fun that goes on behind the scenes in the haunt industry. I'm Heartless Heather, and I'm here with Big Ant.
Hi everyone.
Director Gary.
Hey.
Nanny Janny.
Hey y'all.
And back for a second week because he couldn't get enough of us, Chorus Boris.
Hello.
All right, Corey, what are you doing back here? You loved us so much, Gary. We recorded last Sunday, and Corey came in as your stand-in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he did it. What?
I said, yeah.
He did such a great job. He's like, I want to be a regular. Actually, I got an email from Molly Poppins the other day that said she wants to come back as a guest, too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. We are going to be talking about Valentine haunts. We're also got a few crazy stories that have happened this week that I want to share. But before we get into that, Big Ant, share with us your boo of the week.
Oh, me already. YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube is the boo of the week.
Okay.
Let me set this story up. So, unfortunately, my mom passed away about a week and a half ago. And when my family got together, we were picking out songs for the funeral. And I knew of a song that I wanted everybody to hear, and I knew they had not heard it before. So I got on YouTube to pull up this song. Now I want to set the scene, guys. My 81-year-old dad, his just slightly younger sister, her daughter, my cousin, who happens to be a Catholic school teacher, my siblings, and myself. And when I turned on YouTube and I found the song that I wanted, the first thing that came up was this. We porn stars have a secret trick to use to get an extra 3 inches and to stay hard during the multiple scenes. Baking powder under your tongue, by the way, Gary.
That's all. This is baking powder?
Useful information.
I was going to ask for the link, but I thought it might be inappropriate.
I'm just saying, useful information, but the timing was way off.
But baking powder?
Were you with them,
Way
or did you send
inappropriate.
them the link?
No, I was with them,
Oh my
and I couldn't get it shut down
How
fast enough.
embarrassing. I was going to say, if you send them a link, it's only going to show it was on your phone.
So, guys, that's not the end of the story, however, though. I red-faced, we listened to the song, and at the end of the song, I put my phone down, and I thought I had it off, but no, the next ad, my husband rocked me all night long.
What the hell are you?
I don't know. So I know there's people out there saying, algorithm. Don't give me this algorithm crap. They're selling crap trying to sell me stuff that I don't need.
They say,
But I will tell you this. I'm 56, and I do see a urologist regularly. And I started seeing him for kidney stones. But I do research on the stuff that he wants me to research, you know, the treatments and things. And we have been talking about prostate care and things like that. So I kind of think that the algorithm bit may be there, but nonetheless, inappropriate, YouTube, inappropriate during...
Now, Heather,
what?
the kids are going to walk into the house and they're going to say, why does she have all this baking?
Now, where's all the baking soda?
Right?
I just happened to buy a big bag before we left.
Oh,
Because
Yeah, so we got Amazon delivering a 55-gallon jug of baking soda.
I don't know what kind of family you guys are from, but like, we're your kids. Don't tell us what's on your algorithm, please.
I'm just
Today I was.
counters.
Today I heard a story about your mother, actually. So she was half Portuguese and she's half Mexican. And one of my cousins showed up to a birthday party in October, and he had a hickey on his neck. He had a new girlfriend, and his uncle said, or our uncle said, you know that stops after you get married. And our grandmother told him, no, it doesn't. It just gets a little lower, right, Travis? And
Oh,
like,
my God.
And then apparently that associated somewhere with that they're part French, like that's called the French kiss, is what she told Darren. And she said, well, I'm part French too, so apparently your mother's Mexican, Portuguese, and sometimes French. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know why you people talk like that.
I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong.
He's looking for a song.
I'm looking for a song, and I'm just telling you what ads popped up.
What is the song? Now we gotta know.
Yeah, now we're
All
here.
right. It was a funeral song. Let's not bring a downer on it. Yeah, let's not bring a downer on it.
Oh my goodness.
Never mind.
You may
Oh my
wanna.
gosh.
You may
That went
wanna.
over my head, but thanks for pointing it out. You know, when we were little, you wanted that kind of stuff to go over our head, right? Sometimes I say things to Chris, I want it to go over the kid's head.
There's a saying.
Anyways, so I'm just telling you, YouTube is our brew of the week.
So, Corey, you've got 7 kids, so...
I do.
He said, yeah, they go through a lot of baking soda.
I said, anyone soda, I'm in trouble.
No,
Yeah.
no. All right.
Nicole might
So-
do that.
Gotta be doing something, all right?
Next.
So we had a so I don't my daughter has a condition where she gets really bad anxiety and she picks at her skin. And I know I've shared this before, but a few years ago her skin, she ended up with what'd she have? Staph, cellulitis, impetigo. It started out as impetigo and then it ended up to staph, cellulitis, and strep B all on her skin. It was just a bad mixture. And we had pulled over in New Mexico to go to emergency room because I figured all of the kids had impetigos all over all of them, and we were coming to see great-grandparents and I didn't want to get anybody sick. They told her, you are going to lose your legs if you keep doing this, because she picks on her legs and everything was open. So this last week, at my friend's son, 15 years old, was at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Or he's a local, so he wasn't at the boardwalk. He was hanging out at the beach. And apparently if you're local, you don't hang out there. So he's in trouble already for hanging out there. But first we got to get him out of the hospital. Because while he was at the beach, he hit something cut his leg. A little tiny puncture wound. And it spread... Like, he didn't think anything of it. He's 15 years old. He's not going to go home and cry to mom about a little puncture wound. But after a couple of days, he couldn't put any pressure on it. The sore started, and he told his dad. Well, his dad's thinking, it's just a little tiny wound. Like, you'll get over it. And made him sit on it for 2 more days until he realized, oh, shit, it's, like, really bad. They go into the emergency room, and he also has now staph, cellulitis, strep B, and there's something that he's not responding to the antibiotics. There's some kind of... There's some other, they have the CDC looking into it because there's something that's not responding to the antibiotics. This is just off of a little tiny puncture wound, like a little tiny owie to your skin, something you wouldn't really think anything of. My neighbor in Tennessee, the same thing. She got hit with a chicken wire and it almost killed her because the infection got into her blood. So why am I bringing this up? Because some people are putting their homes together with pallets, and you could be having your cast members getting these little tiny dings and stuff. So we just got to be mindful of what's out there in your, it just takes a little bit of bacteria to get in your skin to just wreak havoc and create the perfect storm. And I just wanted to share with you guys don't think that a little tiny owie is nothing, especially if it keeps hurting. You got to go in and get it checked.
He's in Stanford, you said, right?
No, they were supposed to, so his fever spiked to 104, just under 104, and they couldn't get it to go down. They wanted to Metaflight him to Stanford, but they did not do it. So that was in the talks, but right now his fever went down. He's in the hospital, but his the thing is still spreading. It's not going away. He's not reacting to the antibiotics.
His leg
at
was
all.
like 4 times the size it should have been when I
Yeah, it swelled up really huge.
Yeah, and
So
he's
they're talking about amputation, or they? I mean,
So we're hoping that they have people, they have Stanford doctors and a team of doctors were supposed to meet today to discuss what the next steps are. But yeah, you could be, this is looking like it could be life-threatening. Like it took a really sharp turn yesterday. So
That's why I told you to check with Donna to see what they actually used when they fought. Because remember, they couldn't get their infection under control either. What did they finally decide it was with Donna? Because maybe it could be something similar. You know?
Who's that? Corey shrunk.
He did. Well, there's noise going on upstairs, and this beautiful chandelier. I don't know if you guys remember the chandelier that's in this area. It like bounced, and he and I looked at each other, and he goes, "I better go upstairs."
joy of babies. So, our topic for this week I wanted to discuss is Valentine haunts. We are getting ready to kick off our Valentine promotion. We don't do a Valentine haunt. We do clowngrams, and every year they're a big hit. You call us up and we usually do a couple of different packages, and that's always been pretty successful, but I think this year we're just going to do one package, put it out and see what happens. Kind of like what I'm thinking we should do for the haunt this year too. But there are a few people that are doing Valentine haunts, and so I wanted to shed light on them. I'm actually working on getting them on the show too, like we had for the Christmas haunt. But what do you guys think? Would you go to a Valentine haunt?
Absolutely. I like the
Corey, you've got 7 kids. Would you go on a date with your wife to the Valentine haunt? Would you take your kids to a Valentine
We'll go on
haunt?
a date to the Waffle House for Valentine's Day.
I like the idea of the mystery dinners too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in Louisiana we did toy around with doing the mystery dinners for Valentine's Day, and I thought that was good. We never hosted it in Louisiana, but we have hosted it in Tennessee and in California, and they're a lot of fun. We never did it for money; we just did it for our friends, and we had a lot of fun. Have you ever done a murder mystery dinner?
I never have, but I've wanted to.
We did one for Casey's birthday right there in California too. Though remember we had.
Yeah, so speaking of Casey's birthday, his birthday is on the 25th of this month, and he's been he has a calendar on our refrigerator, and he marks down the days of 16 more days until my birthday. And last night he was like, we're gonna have this. He's used to having these huge parties, and he invite other kids. You invite the whole class, and nobody shows up. And for some reason with Kaysen, you invite the whole class, and everybody and their cousins and brothers and mothers and everybody shows up every year. But this year I told him, let's do a trip or something low key, and he was okay with it 6 months ago. But now that it's his birthday, he's like, well, no, I need invitations for my whole class. I'm like, Kaysen, I don't even know what to do right now. We have the funeral the day before.
And Anthony's flying back out on 25th.
Yeah, so.
And what's funny is Shepard's been doing the same thing. All he wants for his birthday is for it to snow. Nanny,
No.
my birthday, it's going to snow. It might
No. He's so
It'll
sweet.
snow in Louisiana, but that's all he wants for his birthday. He tells me for it to snow. That's cute.
He's got to have that Corinne look, because I swear Corinne, every time she said it was going to... One year, we lived in Louisiana, and we were going to throw the sleds away because we weren't going to need them anymore. We're in Louisiana. And she is free. Do not throw those sleds away. I'm like, Corinne, next time if we ever need them, we'll buy more. They're like $20. Do not. So we kept them, and lo and behold, a month later, it was snowing, and she told me, get the sleds. We were the only ones in the neighborhood that had sleds.
Could you imagine if you threw them out?
I know.
Oh,
That's what she told me.
man.
She's never
Right.
She was 3 at the time. She remembers. She's like, no, you listen to me.
Like,
I know.
when it comes to throwing things away, they hide things from me.
But it was kind of cool to be the only people that had sleds. All the kids in the neighborhood just thought they were in heaven, because most people in Corey, do you have sleds?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, most people wouldn't have a sled.
Why, what are you going to do? Is the sled in Louisiana sled down the mudslide when the hurricanes hit?
Although we are trying to put together a goat cart, which is a cart pulled by a goat, so that's cool.
Oh.
When you get that done, please come back on the show.
So you're just going to go full Amish on us then?
Your go kart ride? You'd be the only go kart track.
So this may be our last podcast, because next time we won't be able to there'll be no electricity in that house.
I've been watching some they get a lot of slack on their feed. They're like, you're not Amish. They left the Amish, but they give their experience of what it was like growing up Amish or whatever, and people just tear them up every time they post anything. You can't say you're Amish, and she's like, well, no, I'm not saying I'm Amish. I'm saying I left the Amish, but this is how we made our bread, so take it or leave it.
Right.
But
I know who you're talking about.
yeah, there's 2 of them that I've been following, and there's one guy. He's kind of funny, but he's a little hillbilly-ish, so it's hard to follow him. But the girls are pretty good.
Those Amish can cook, though. I was in Pennsylvania one time, and you go up to their farms, and in the front, they had 2 little kids. These kids were super behaved, and they were in charge of collecting the money and handing out the baked goods. The adults were just way back doing whatever the adults do. But these kids were like your kids' age. Well, your kids are pretty behaved, too. I mean, I think they probably handled that job. And,
Good save, Gary.
Oh,
Good save.
I guess I don't know them that well. But,
Did Kinslin just bit your head off for walking in the house?
oh, no, that's true. I walk in. Hey, Kinslin, do not talk to me. I said, okay. She was coloring. She was coloring. I was interrupting her coloring.
An artist at work. Hello.
I want Gary to finish his story, but I have to add this. I mean, Gary is just very passive when it comes to the kids or with kids. But one day we were filming, and I was like, Kinsley, can you just turn a little bit? Or he wanted her to turn, so I was like, can we get you from this angle? And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. Do not touch me. And he just backed away, left. I was like, okay.
And I patted her on the back one time.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I patted her on the back, say, hey man, good job. She goes, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
I
that.
said, all right, I won't do that.
He's very respectful, which is good. I mean, you should respect people's boundaries. I get that, but at the same time, also when they're 4, like you can kind of be like, no, you gotta.
Oh, they're all crazy at that age. They don't know what they're doing. It is nuts.
But anyways, you're Amish.
But yeah, see, so I went over there. Man, you guys in Pennsylvania, they have these things called whoopie pies, and it's all like real food that they're making there at their farm. And it's a layer of chocolate cake with a layer of cream, and this cream is like nothing I've ever had before. And then also another layer of chocolate cake, and they're called a whoopie pie. Oh my God! And it was 50 cents.
Oh my gosh.
I know you by first name.
Right.
Oh, I loved it there. And so I bought.
Do they have an app?
Yeah, right. The Amish, yeah, they got an app. And so I paid him like $5 for we got something called like a bottomless pie, which is a pie without bottom crust. A pie called a shoe fly pie, and this may be the same pie. It's been a while, but they had a grape pie. That grape pie was pure sugar. I've never had anything more sweet. It was good.
That was good.
But a little bit is going to go a long way.
Nice.
But it was like $5 for all of this, like all this stuff. And there was like a little bit of money left over. I said, no, you kids keep that. And I swear the little girl looked at me like she was going to cry. And she was like, thank you. I guess the kid doesn't get her own money or something. But yeah,
Nice.
it was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some really pretty farms there in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very nice.
I like Pennsylvania very much.
Nanny Janny, share with us your paranormal story of the week.
You know, I was, this is kind of hard for me sometimes because I go down these rabbit holes and I go, okay, I'm going to go on a topic of like these really creepy things. And I know that Corey's kids sometimes have a hard time or once they're in, like my phone, the light of my phone, because I'm reading stories and it keeps them awake.
Awake?
Wake up and see,
Oh.
what are you doing? You know? And then like Corey will come in at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm reading. He's like, you know, I got to wake up the kids. I said, it's okay. Go ahead. So for some reason I got onto serial killers, but I was looking for something of the creepy. And the serial killers, and I think because I know Heather used to listen to that program every time we drove across country. You would listen to the lady tell the stories about you know,
Murder, mystery, and makeup. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Well, oh, I didn't know what it was called, but yeah, that is. Yeah. Well, there's so many. I didn't realize there were so many serial killers in the United States, like famous ones. The one that really caught my like, I kept reading more and more. Is the Green River Killer, and here's one thing that just really like just creeped me out. She says my dad was good friends with the Green River Killer. They ate lunch together. Now remember, he was accused of killing like 49 women. So they ate lunch together every day for 10 years. Well, unbeknownst to her dad, he usually had a dead woman in the back of the truck.
Oh my gosh.
At the Kenworth parking lot. Nobody at his church knew either. He could be one of the most prolific serial killers in American history if he actually killed as many women as he claimed. So he was convicted of 49 murders, but number is actually closer to 80. And then it goes on. If I click this, you could read more, but then it just goes on, and like the people that he interacted with on a daily basis. Like it would be like me sitting here, like his family didn't know. Like me sitting here with the serial killer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like, yeah.
And you know, and you see him in church or you eat lunch with him every day, and you just, some people can play it off as every day, but really, like, how creepy would it be to look back and say, you know, oh, I dated that guy for 2 years, or
Yeah. Well, I've just recently watched a documentary, the BTK killer or whatever. Like, the girls found out that their dad was a serial killer. Like, can you imagine? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know. Can you imagine?
I'm not familiar with that one, but we watched.
I was watching.
Recently, yeah.
We were on that murder, mystery, and makeup. There's a girl, or one of the stories she was talking about, one of the serial killers had a hot dog stand, and he was feeding chili to people made from humans. No, not yeah. This is real. It's real. I can't. God, I'm gonna have to look up the story so that we can talk about it next week. But
I didn't come across that one yet. But I come across like, well, there's quite a few serial killers. They're like, he was the nicest guy. He sat by us in church. You know, he served as a deacon or whatever he did in the community. Like, people respected these men. And there's a couple of women in there too that, you know, they were a pillar of the community or ran the boarding house it's just like so many rabbit holes you go down to. But the one for the Green River Killer really caught my eye caught my attention about how normal, and I guess what's to say it's abnormal to be a serial killer. I don't know. As many as there is, it sounds like it's a pretty normal thing. I don't know. Yeah. So really, what would you think? What would you think? Look at Gary. Look at the person beside you.
That's what I'm saying. I can kind of see Gary after I hit a couple weeks ago, the last podcast with his figuring out his girlfriend was a witch. I'm almost thinking maybe she caught on to something first.
She's still alive.
Yeah.
You got nothing on me.
She found out hers. They never kill their family and their people. And like the serial killers don't kill their people. They kill other people.
So Janice, I mean, we went to school with well, not really. We didn't really go to school with him. We went to school with his brother, but but Carrie Stainer. I don't know if you remember Carrie.
I remember the name.
So Carrie Stainer grew up here in Merced.
Okay.
And his family. Yeah. And in fact, his sister is still here in Merced. Anyways, Stephen Stainer was a little boy, about 7 years old, and he got kidnapped here in Merced. It was big. In fact, they had a movie that came out called Stephen Stainer.
I think My Name is Stephen.
Or I think My Name is Stephen. That's what it was. So anyways, he died tragically in a motorcycle accident. But
his abductor kept him for years and raised him as his son, just like in Mariposa.
Well, that's what happened to my dad's cousin.
Really?
Yeah, in Modesto. They were at, I don't know if you guys remember where the YMCA used to be. It's now like a 24-hour fitness, I think. And his mom stopped the car, got out to get something, and when she came back, he was gone, and they didn't see him again for, I don't know, it was like 10, 15 years. It was a long time.
Really?
Jeez,
and finally he popped up, and they were able to reconnect. But in the meantime, he had lost his eyeball somewhere along the way.
Oh, no.
I'd have to ask my dad this. He could tell you better than me. But, yeah, he was abducted, and they thought for sure he was dead. And it's in the newspaper if you Google... I can't remember his name anymore, but if you were to Google his name, because I did, and it came up.
But anyways, so Carrie Stainer, so the brother was kidnapped. When the brother came back, years later, Carrie Stainer was
the older brother.
Did the Yosemite murders.
He's the one that did the Yosemite murders.
Do you remember the Yosemite murders?
Like vaguely.
No, I don't know if that's a serial killer. That's just like he just had one murder spree. He didn't have a bunch. Like usually serial killers are over time.
Yeah. Oh, I told you we should have made room for Lola.
Okay, lay down, Lola. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Yes, I love you, good girl.
Lola came to visit.
We're going to change it from the Haunt After Hours podcast to puppies, babies, and...
Right. Lola's just a big old horse. She's a big
I don't know about the... I don't know about the serial killers. It is kind of creepy to think that, like, just they could be... anywhere. You think people are normal, but like there's the BTK killer that I was saying that the girls found out that their father was a serial killer, like he murdered a neighbor, like, you know, and then still had dinner with the other neighbors and helped look for people. So
well, I remember watching like people are just so weird. This one guy, he lived in this neighborhood and he lived by himself. It was a 2-story home, and he had a habit of abducting women. And he'd have his way with them until he was done, and then he would kill them, and that'd be it. Well, he had 3 that he really liked, and he kept them locked up in the attic. And he'd have Christmas at his house. He would have so his family is coming over and all that, but nobody was allowed upstairs. And they didn't think anything of it. He said, "Oh, it's messy up there. I don't want you guys up there." He would go to the neighbors' barbecues. The neighbors would come over to his house for a barbecue. Everybody loved this guy. Okay, so one day he leaves. And he forgot to lock the door, but sometimes he was testing the ladies up there for their loyalty. If they broke his trust, he would beat them. And so they were kind of afraid to leave. And then as it comes to find out, he really did just forget to lock the door. So this one girl, she opens up the door, and then there's another door, except it's like a screen door, but he had the locks like reversed, so you needed a key to open it up from the inside. But across the street, she saw these old people on their porch, and so she starts banging and banging and banging on the glass door, and they come over and they're like, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she goes, "He's had us locked up there for 11 years. He's gonna come back. He's gonna kill us. Blah blah blah." And the old people didn't believe her at first, but then kind of like seeing is believing. They're like, "Okay, this chick is in there. We got to get her out." So one of the older people was a lady, and she went back across the street to call the cops. But the other two men like busted down the door and got her out of there. And by the time he was coming home, the police arrived and they got him. But he had those people abducted in the attic for 11 years and made him have his babies and all that.
Yeah, this is, I think, is it in Cleveland? Is that I think so.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, I think his name is Ariel Castro, and I've always been obsessed with that case because I used to be a big Sylvia Brown. Is it Sylvia Brown, the psychic?
Yeah, the psychic, yeah.
Yeah, but she told, on Montel, she told the mother that, your daughter's gone, and the daughter was watching the episode, like screaming at the TV upstairs, like, "No, I'm here!" Like she thought, "Oh, this is how I'm gonna get found," and she just watched her. The mother ended up dying. They say from a broken heart, like she ended up dying from not being able to find the daughter, the stress of it, and so it was years later before the girl was even released. So she didn't get to see her.
So
messed up.
one of my brother's neighbors,
In Ripon,
one afternoon, huh?
In Ripon,
What'd you say, Jen? You remember this story?
Yep.
She came. Was it a male or a female? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but they came. Yeah, she came out and screaming, that she needed help. She needed help. That somebody had abducted her and had her locked up. It was just around the corner from where he lives, and
wasn't she naked or something?
Yeah, something like that. And he had her for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. It wasn't a very long time. I mean, that's a long time, but it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't years, but yeah, it was just right around the corner from him, and they.
And he wouldn't let her in the house because he thought something not right was going on. Like he was afraid of somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, you get like that. I would be like that
you got some
too.
naked person standing there screaming at the door.
I would think crackhead. Well, nowadays I would think crackhead. I don't know what I would have thought back then.
Right, I think that's what he thought. But anyways, yeah, they wind up getting the guy as well. But
that's tiny little old Ripon, California. That is especially back then, that would have been an even tinier town.
Yeah.
Little farm town.
It could be like,
yeah, and he lives in a nice area. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you there's so many weirdos out there.
That we don't even know. Yeah, like I said, you could be sitting next to a serial killer.
I just feel in our industry that the odds are higher than you might think.
I don't think so. I think most people in the haunt industry are like genuinely nice people.
Because they have a relief for that emotion.
Right. It's the ones that are like, no, we would never go to a haunted house. No, we would never support blood and gore. Those are the ones that are killing people for sure.
Probably the low key ones with the nice halo.
Right. Sit in the fifth pew.
Yeah. Well, was it BTK who was the head of a church?
And he was an officer, retired police officer, or something with law enforcement.
Yeah, I'm getting it all mixed up.
Well, if he wasn't, we're making one hell of a story up.
Yeah.
I did read one about he was either a marshal or a sheriff. I want to say he was a sheriff. Same thing. He got people's addresses, like he would give them a ticket and get their address, and then later kill them, or go find them and kill them, or like. Could you imagine?
Oh, go to their homes?
Yeah.
I think that's the same one. Hold on. The BTK killer. He's in Sacramento. Who was in Sacramento? I remember being very, very little, or I don't know, being very, very little, and in Hawthorne, Nevada, and the Royce Kimberlin's mom was saying that she would she had us afraid, or me afraid, to go to California because she was telling us that no, this guy's killing people and he's just taken off the back door. So I was terrified of houses that had sliding glass doors, because I did not want them to break. I thought those were the easiest things to break into, and we were going to get killed because we have a sliding glass door.
We lived right off 99, and there was a serial killer for years. They were saying, that was traveling down 99.
Oh, I couldn't.
Yeah, somebody stopped and knocked at our door. Everybody knocked on the door, like our house was fighting or something. People always stop there.
Well, the Golden State Killer got somebody on my grandparents' street. He didn't kill him, but he raped that lady.
Oh, maybe I'm getting confused.
And they found, because he would leave things behind, so he would travel on the rooftops and things like that. And he would leave things on top of people's roofs just to mess with the cops. And there was stuff on my grandparents' roof that he took from somebody's house.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, and then down the street, he broke into their house, and of course he raped the wife and made the husband watch. You know that he wasn't a very nice guy. And then he'd eat their food and watch TV, and then go rape her again, then watch TV and eat their food, and then go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he was a police officer.
Yeah. Police officers, I feel like, are the worst. They get away with it.
And then they think that he broke into the house because they had a town hall meeting, and some guy was shooting off his mouth. And my grandparents didn't tell me this, but they made it sound like it's the same guy. This guy was shooting his mouth. Well, if he ever came into my house, I'd shoot him.
Oh, so it's
And,
showing.
and the way my grandpa made it sounded like he went into that dude's house. Was like, oh yeah, and so that means he was at the town hall meeting.
Yeah, so they're just average, everyday people.
Dude.
Creepy.
Yeah.
So how do we get off of the
Well, that was her.
Valentine
She was
haunt?
talking about murder mysteries, or murder, serial killers. Corey, you had a paranormal experience that you were going to share. Share with us your paranormal experience.
Well, we were talking about we were sitting down talking about haunt stories or ghost stories. Have you guys actually gone over any of the things that we had growing up in that Houston house? Have you guys ever talked about
I don't know.
A long time ago, you guys brought it up a few times, but it was a long time ago.
Let's hear it from the.
Well, like what?
9 years old at the
I
time.
don't know. So we were talking to the girls about it. We're talking ghost stories, but we were telling them about this.
Why are you telling your children ghost stories? Are you trying to scare them? Are you trying to avoid baby number 8 because we're going to keep the kids sleeping in bed with us?
Yeah. Yes, but sit down.
It is.
It
That
is.
is.
Sorry. Well, we were talking about that, buddy. Please. No, no. I mean, you could with the swine in there. She'll lose it.
What's happening?
We need a water break. I'm sorry.
She needed color in her water.
No, stop.
Let me
You
see.
need to
baby.
put it down, bud.
Okay,
We're panicking.
Okay, well look at him. Okay?
I'm not playing games.
Okay, I know. I'm telling you, go play your game.
Don't
Go sit
play
down,
games.
please.
Are you done?
Go play.
Take new pictures. Sorry. Yeah, he's
No more.
contaminated right
Stop.
now. He can't go upstairs. He has to stay
don't need to
downstairs.
show me
He
any
can't-
And he's got hand, foot, and mouth disease or whatever. I thought it was called hoof and mouth disease, but I guess that's not
Mouth.
what we have. I don't know why. I always thought that's what it's called. But
Important here.
my Anthony's kids had the hand, foot, and mouth disease, and it was like the same thing. A rash all over his whole body. He looked like he was
Thank you.
infected. Like he was infected. It was really bad for the baby.
I know a lot of kids who get that.
Yeah. It's going around pretty badly right there in Louisiana right now.
But they have a brand new baby, so they're trying to avoid the brand new baby
Yeah.
getting it.
Yeah.
It's really contagious, and so we're trying to keep them separated. They went and got there's a bottle of this sitting everywhere, and
What is it?
It's disinfectant wipes. So like anywhere he's
Oh.
been, like he's just table. Normally we got the wipes out and wiping on it. He has his own little table that he has to sit at. Like so when they're eating dinner, he gets to eat dinner, but he's at his own little table. And as soon as they're done, they wipe them
Oh,
off.
poor thing.
Everything down. But with 6 kids or 7 kids, I'm sorry, with 7 kids.
Yeah, you can start a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. They're all, and that's why I said, it's like kind of like the chicken pox. If it's going to spread, do you want to just all get it and get it over with, or
Right.
do you what? And they haven't said this, but I'm thinking they just had 2 weeks of Christmas vacation. They don't want another 2 weeks.
No, when we first started the podcast, when I first he goes, Aunt Heather, I get to be home for 7 days. I said, how'd your mom get so lucky?
It's like a 3-week.
Poor car. All right, Corey. So talk to us about this haunt experience you had.
We're talking about we had a squish ball. You squeeze it and make it like a techno sound. Da, 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 da,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at one point we were driving in the Cadillac, and we were going, and there was a normal conversation. I can't remember which questions were going off, but someone asked a yes or no question. I believe it's to you, and the thing went up to reply to that question. And then after a couple more questions were asked, and then finally we're like, beep once for yes and beep twice for no. And there was a for the yes and for the no. And then we started asking the harmless questions. Is your favorite color green? Is your favorite color red? And someone turns around and goes, is someone going to die soon? And then it was like, "Put-a-dirt," and that's when Mom grabbed it and she throws it out the window. It goes, but it was all. So the reason it stands up so much is like 3 weeks later we were cleaning out a room and we came across the exact same toy.
Yeah.
The exact same ball was back.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't. You weren't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to go off and answer questions. The toy was broken, but it just started making noise on its own. So we just started treating it like a Ouija board and asking it questions because we noticed it was just randomly. And then it was responding to us. We'd say, beep once for yes and twice for no. And when we asked if it's going to die, it did beep once, and she freaked out and threw it out the window. Then it came back.
That's littering.
So when it came back, they're like, look, the ball came back, and I'm like, okay.
I did a good job at repeating.
I didn't throw it away, but to the neighbors that we didn't really associate with.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I can edit my part where I said it again out. I can't tell if your audio is, but it's choppy in my ear. Sorry. So I reiterated it so we would have it once more. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
No, it might be perfect on the thing. Do you guys hear it perfect?
We hear it perfect, so I don't know.
Do you guys hear it perfect?
No, it's choppy.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Well,
So, Corey, do you remember any other paranormal experiences from there?
What's weird about it is it seemed to interact with us through the toys, with the RC car, and then through the Nintendo system. It was actually nice with it.
I had forgot about the Nintendo system until he said something earlier. And I was like, oh, yeah.
So we were sitting down playing the old Nintendo. It was a one-person play, but it was two players. So after one person died on Mario, the next person to play is Luigi. Never did the two characters play on the same time. At that time. When we were losing,
we didn't have that technology.
The Luigi would appear, finish the level, and pass the levels for us. But it wasn't. And it was, we ended up showing a handful of people.
Yeah.
So anyways, we invented that two-player at one time system. That's ours.
Well, you didn't. The ghost did.
The ghost did. They gave you the technology. Well, all this time we thought it was ghosts, but now I'm thinking it was the aliens in the water from the civilized people that were before us. And they're just like, no, listen, like we can play this together.
That same TV, now this is 30 years ago, that same TV we didn't have a remote to that TV. We didn't have, there
was a remote.
Only
we weren't
to the box.
We had a cable box that sat on top, so you had a remote to the cable box.
Right.
Yeah.
The TV had a pull.
Yeah, the
pull it out. Yeah.
The first person to pull the knob got to choose the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because that knob was hard to pull.
On sometimes, and I would show. I remember my mom and TC and Crystal were over there, and it was in the middle of the night. We'd been all up talking. It was right when I was in the accident, the devastating accident that I was in, but we had been at the house and talking, and that TV just popped down. I'm like, what the? And I went over there and then pulled. No, the button was pulled out. The button was out, but it was like, you have to. I pushed it in and told him, look, you have to. It's hard to get a hold of that little button and pop it out. Probably because our kids would go there and slam it in instead of.
That doesn't sound something.
But it was still absolutely hard to pull out. Yeah. I remember when that TV turned on, and we were like, everybody, aside from the people that were in the living room, were sleeping. Like there was nobody out there at all to be able to turn it on. But that same night that turned on, the doorbell rang.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, the doorbell rang?
Yeah. Do you remember the doorbell ringing, Mom?
Yeah,
that's right.
Do you remember the doorbell ringing?
I don't remember.
That was all on that same night.
And I said, "Oh, the ghost."
Shortly after the TV came on, the doorbell rang.
Hey,
the sprinklers.
You went outside and your windows were down.
Yep, and the sprinklers came on.
Oh my God.
So it was warning me. So it wasn't. But when we found out later, there's other things that happened there.
The RC cars. We had a remote control car, and it was going back and forth and driving, and ramming into things, and then we were told to take the batteries. So we took the batteries out, and then later it starts doing the same thing. And then is it when you freaked out about it?
Yeah, well, I called your dad and said something about this remote. He's like, I told you guys, take the damn batteries out. I'm like, the batteries are out. I didn't hear that, sorry.
Whatever was in there definitely fed off of electronics.
So we found out later, was it just before we moved or shortly after we moved, that a man committed suicide.
It was just before we moved into that house. The previous tenants, before we rented there. There was the previous
committed suicide in our closet. Your mom and My closet.
That's a trip.
What's also really
sleeping in a room
where
that somebody hung themselves and died, or however.
Yeah.
He
I think he hung himself. Yeah,
in the closet.
Yeah.
But what's also weird is Travis at the time was 2 or 3. He was a baby, and he would just like go and hide in that closet all the time, fall asleep. Like we'd be looking for him, thinking we need to call the cops, and he's just in the closet, like hanging out, chilling. Like that was his spot. So
yeah.
Talking about Travis?
Too. Once we figured it all out, we're like, yeah.
You guys are chopping up.
Yeah.
Oh, is that ours?
Oh.
We are. That's yours.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the last minute.
Are you talking about Travis? Yeah,
Oh.
yours got choppy on the
Yes.
Travis hiding in the closet. I see our lines and your lines are still going, so I think it's recording correctly. I think there's just going to be an internet connection between us, but we'll see how the audio turns out. And I'll be able to fix all this. Well, not as good as Gary, but I'll be able to
But I feel like
chop
in
it all up and
Louisiana,
Gary
they
will say, we
should be
sounded so
seeing
fake.
more. I don't know. I just feel like in the eeriness of Louisiana, I feel like there's more activity.
You would think that there would be more activity, but I ran across more of the creepy people in Louisiana than there's probably tons in California and you just don't notice it, or you do notice it, but you can't question it in California. But in Louisiana, there was a guy who had killed the girlfriend's mother and then took off hiding in the trees for days. Was in the trees behind our houses for days. They knew that he was out there somewhere, but they didn't know he was just living in the tree. You know what I'm saying? Only people in Louisiana can survive that kind of stuff because everything in Louisiana wants to kill you.
All right.
That's what he's going to say. Everything in this tree is going to kill you, including the trees and the vultures and the.
You know what I love about Louisiana? Louisiana is probably the only state that's not going to ever get invaded, and here's why. Every time we have an invasion from a species, then the warnings come out. Like just recently, you can look it up. We had those invasive snails or their slugs that are affecting the waterways, and they lay their eggs. There's a warning by the Louisiana Department of Health or Wildlife, and it says, these are the slugs. These are how you identify them. These are the eggs. These are how you kill the eggs. And at the very bottom, it says, this is how you can cook and eat them.
Oh my
story.
gosh, shut up. So you build your antibodies because you're got them in you already. Let me tell you, you could take the girl out of Louisiana, but you can't take the Louisiana out of the girl because Kinsley was born in Louisiana. We left when she was a year old, but that girl will eat anything that is like anything.
Yes.
If it's just a hamburger, she's not interested, but if it's raccoon or if it's, she's all about that.
She's funny.
If it's freshly been in testing.
I have a friend that I used to deploy with, and he was from Louisiana. He'd talk about they stuffed rat bellies and possum bellies, and I'm like, oh, no, thank you. You ever tried it? No, I have no desire. But don't knock it if you ain't ever tried it. That's probably some of the best food. But he didn't call it food. There was another word.
Gary,
for it.
Gary, you got a chicken nugget palate. Are you going to eat possum bellies?
Possum bellies? I would try it.
You would?
I would try it.
Did you try alligator?
I did. I tried alligator. I think it was just a weird cut that I got because it was blubbery and bland, and I was just like, what? It should be seasoned. I don't know.
You don't have a chicken nugget palate. Then if you'll try it, you don't. I thought you were a picky eater. You're not a picky eater.
No.
Oh no, Dave is a picky eater. Your story with Dave is
yeah.
We and I don't know if it's just the haunt industry or just our haunt family, but we got a lot of picky eaters in our haunt family.
Last night I fried up a few eggs, threw those in a bowl, made some tater tots, threw them in the same bowl, dumped in some ketchup, mixed it up, and I was happy.
Right?
I'm not a picky eater.
That sounds good.
Yep. It was good. I'm going to do that again tonight.
Is that home cooked meal?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. He got the recipe from the Waffle House.
I felt rich too, man. I was eating eggs. I was like, whoa, that's like $5 in the store I just ate.
Right? I just got 4 of them out back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You guys have hens.
Yeah, we
Wrong
got.
with you?
I just can't eat them if they're not coming from a store in a carton white.
Well, what do you think the store gets them
No,
from?
not interested.
What is the difference? There is zero difference.
Do you see the ones that come? I don't know if I shared this on here before, but my 2-year-old, he likes to help out around with the animals.
Uh-huh.
And he was going out and collecting eggs every day with Janice, and he had a little basket he was keeping them in. But then as soon as he comes in, he wants to cook those eggs right away. Okay,
Uh-huh.
or if we're not cooking them, he just wants to crack them. So he wants to just throw them. Okay, so we told him he could pick 4 a day, but she's getting the rest of them. Well, he must have seen it come out. He must have seen something, because all of a sudden the next day he goes to pick him, and I'm like, come on, let's, you want to crack it and eat it? He's, no, don't eat it.
Yeah, he must have watched one get laid and this scarred him now.
But now he is back to eating eggs, but there were a few days where he's like, no, I don't eat eggs. So,
I don't eat
but he couldn't just say, no, I don't, like, not like the typical picky 2-year-old. He was like, it had to be very dramatic. No, we don't do that. Well, I don't know what he's seen, but...
Oh, JoJo's pure country.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny. He's funny.
Okay.
I worry
Yeah,
that
there's laws.
sometimes I worry, and I don't mean to sound of what laws of what.
What are you saying?
I'm waiting to listen to your story.
We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
Sometimes I wonder why it's doing that. I see you guys freezing too, but it's I don't know how this is gonna work. What I was gonna say is, I'm just gonna decide not to say it, so we'll cut that part out. But I worry about him, like not that, because my daughter is on the spectrum. She's very high functioning. I don't worry, but she has behavior issues that is hard. So if I have another child that's on the spectrum, but I see a lot. He is very similar to how she was as a baby, but he is like 10 times her. And the other day, a little kid falls down at the park, and you could see out of the corner of his eye, like he's seen it happen. He goes, "Oh, gotta help!" And he went over, like he was stressed out, like he had to go help. So I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, he's empathetic. He shows sympathy. So maybe we're okay." But then the little kid, also 2 years old, said, "No, I don't want help." And JoJo pushed him back down and says, "I'm helping you." I'm like,
Oh my God!
Now the job's assigned. He has to do it. So I'm like, oh goodness.
That's funny.
Oh God!
Oh, poor JoJo.
You will let me help.
He's funny.
Anyways, I don't know how we got onto that, but I derailed somebody's conversation like I always do.
We started by talking about Valentine haunts.
Oh yeah.
If that helps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, to answer your question, I'd go through one.
Talk about rabbit holes.
Walked away.
To answer your... I would like to go through a Valentine haunt, but I don't know that they are very... You would only be... How many days can you be open? You know what I'm saying? So we are going to get somebody that's doing a Valentine haunt on the podcast next week, I'm hoping, just to share their experience with the Valentine haunt.
Nice.
You got something to add, Course?
The Valentine, it should always end with like, "And will you marry him?"
I was thinking about how to make it, make it interactive like that. Like having one where you make it like you're having to go through a blind date or something. Having somebody escort you through it. Yeah.
I just want to.
Of course.
You were on the topic of backing this up. You're talking about kids growing up with Thor or whatever natural. Thor's kids, the older girls. Like there was a dead chicken out there. What did you do with the dead chicken? Well, I just left it out there. I said, "You left it out there with all the other chickens? They'll eat it." I'm like, okay.
See, those are the kind of eggs you're eating. Cannibal eggs.
Yep. In a couple of days later,
I'm eating
there was a
farm
storm.
eggs from Save Mart.
Yeah, that you don't know.
Yeah, because those don't eat anything bad.
Yeah.
They're raised in little cages. They don't get to do that.
Yeah. Your elbow grows a boob, like.
See,
No.
anyways, a couple of days
Don't
later,
even get me started.
A couple of days later, one of the goat, when we had that storm, the goat went into premature labor, but she gave the birth early, and nobody was out there during the storm. They didn't realize she'd had the baby until the next afternoon. And I said, "Well, what'd you do with it? Is it a berry?" And she goes, "The dog's eating it." I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, that's something that our kids would be traumatized at that age, you know.
No, let me see if I can get the
We'll get them right here.
We're having some internet issue.
We'll get them right here. She scraped her knee when she was in there. No, there's blood.
Oh,
Oh, no.
you better go
There's
fix it.
real
because
blood.
We just talked about these scratches.
Little
Alive
tiny thing,
blood.
yeah. And if you've got animals eating animals and stuff out there, like, you might want to make sure there's no bacteria.
I don't know.
What happened to
Yeah.
Janice? She just disappeared.
I saw that. And
She just flashed.
I loses a leg. Careful.
That's what she was talking about.
Did Nancy do that? Did she push you down?
I just found out Janice is a witch.
Hold on, Chris is coming to fix our internet.
Going back. There's been a handful of times we buried them and the dogs just dug them back up anyways. It's a waste of effort. They just go take them and rebury them somewhere.
Right?
It might be theirs, and you're supposed
So they just dig them up.
It's supposed to
Yeah.
do that.
It happens.
Did you have
Yeah,
your
no,
phone
'cause
Chris?
I have the repeater for the main internet, and it's over in the house. So
So it's reaching.
Hey, your
Thank
mustache is gone.
He's thinking.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. You noticed.
I did. I was like,
Hi.
well, I saw him
Wait a
today.
minute.
Well, I saw him today. I knew something was different. I thought, oh, it must be just a shirt because normally he's a little dressed up. And then I was like, no, something else is wrong. Something's gone. The mustache is gone.
I didn't
I
even
have a
notice.
lip.
Kids have the phone?
Yeah, no. Trying to reconnect, make sure. No. It's
No.
gonna be on this side.
It's on our side. Yeah, because it keeps saying trying to connect. Hold on.
Did the kids have the phone?
Sounds nasty.
Are you still centered?
No, it has nothing to do with the kids having the phone.
No, I'm asking.
No, turn
You know,
it so
the
that-
message right away because the kids had the phone.
Oh no, he came in. I don't know who had his phone earlier. He can't hear you.
No.
Oh.
It was JoJo.
Oh, Jojo had the phone.
What the hell? My phone's on airplane
Message,
mode.
'cause I thought Kenzen would at least catch up on the 911.
I'll just take
Because I
my
said,
phone
help,
and take
911.
it in case.
Give the phone
She's
to your
so
dad.
Stinker.
Let's see what we can use of this one.
Right here, buddy.
All right. I think it's caught up. It says it's catching up.
Hold on, I'll
Yeah,
get you another one, buddy.
the signal strength's gotten better.
All right. It sounds better already. So
You're welcome for my service.
thank you.
Thank you.
For your service.
If anything is good phone working, then I'm gonna get that.
No.
To bed.
Nice.
Wonderful. Please be in bed before I have to go in.
Something
So,
not
Gary, share with us your
off our TV.
haunt movie review. No. Gary, share with us your horror movie review.
Okay.
Oh, turn on again.
Wait, what?
What?
We were talking about the TV.
What?
His TV just turned on, then it turned off, now turned back on.
No, shut up.
It's
Are you
this.
lying? Somebody's back there pushing. Oh, wait, can I share with you guys something?
Hold
This
on.
was the
Or
creep.
remote.
Yeah, somebody's
there,
somebody's
Bob.
upstairs with the remote is what it is.
What? It's saying, come to Jesus. It's literally,
Became God.
how Jesus.
Oh my God.
Oh,
No.
It's all right. Well,
That's scary.
Last week,
actually, yeah.
nobody will.
What was it saying?
Believe that. It brought up a show how Jesus, or come to Jesus, or how Jesus became God is what it was saying.
We're having a coming into Jesus moment here pretty soon. But you know, I'm sorry, Gary. I have to interrupt. When my mom was passing away, my brother had passed away 2 years before, and almost 2 years to the like real close 2 years. And my mom's hospital bed at that time was in the TV, or in the front room, and she'd watch TV all the time. Like it's the TV stayed on 24/7. It seemed like. You know, at the end of a I Love Lucy show, there's always this heart that comes up and says, Desi loves Lucy or something like that. And that came up and it says, I love you, Mom, on the TV. And there was 4 of us there that witnessed that. We're like,
Oh my
what
God.
the hell? It was really like, yeah. What happened to that TV? We didn't keep that TV either.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Anyways.
I had a dream the other night. I don't know what the dream was about, but we're doing some renovations on this house in Nevada, and I had it once we got back home, but it was a terrifying dream, and I've had a dream similar to this before, but anyways, in the dream, something went fuzzy. And then I went to just ignore it, and then I was like, wait a minute, what if it's a black hole? So in my dream. So I threw a shoe in it. And when I threw the shoe in, and we're in the kitchen, I threw a shoe in, all of a sudden the shoe landed in the living room. So I'm like freaking out, and I'm in the living room like, Chris, oh my gosh. And Chris comes around the corner, he's like, well, yeah, there's a ghost right there. And then I'm freaking out, what do you mean there's a ghost right there? No, come here and look. I'm like, I can't look, just get it away. Anyways, then as I'm saying I can't look, the door starts to open and the blinds start to move. And I hadn't been sleeping at all, and this night I had everything off. The lights were off, the TV was off, because I was trying to get, like, deep sleep. So I had just been awake a half hour earlier. This dream woke me up, and I was scared. But when I woke up, those lights above my bed, both of them were just a little bit on. We were staying in an RV. It wasn't fully on. They weren't fully illuminated. But I'm like, Chris, why are these lights on? Did you turn the lights on? He's like, no, Heather. Sometimes they just do that. I've never seen them do that. I've never, ever seen them do that. They don't. But in the microwave will just randomly, it only does this in the middle of the night when everybody's sleeping, but it'll just randomly push 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and the microwave will start to turn on and just start going, yes.
It's Chris saying, no, Heather.
No.
It just does that.
That night, we were just exhausted. We haven't been sleeping well. The kids haven't been sleeping well, so I wasn't waking him up, but I was like, I was trying to wake him up because I was scared. I was thinking, well, like, something was trying to get my attention in my dream and in real life. Like, they were trying to get to me, and I was scared. I don't want to be haunted. Like, I don't care if somebody wants to come visit me, but don't come haunt me. Like, I'm not getting little white feathers. Like, I'm getting, like, I feel like I'm getting something telling me not to mess with that house. But I mean, we got to start messing with the house. It's been sitting for 10 years, so.
Right. Definitely. Because we could be collecting rent on it all this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Or had good haunted stories to share.
I don't know. Nope. I don't, like, when I'm in the house, it feels fine. I don't feel like there's a presence, but it's always after I leave there's something crazy that happens. But I did not like that.
You know, there's only one house. Huh?
The house what?
On K Street was haunted too.
It was
I
not.
put bells up there. Yes, there was. I put bells up there so I could hear the noise.
Yes, we had an attic entrance, and it didn't have a cover on it, so she put aluminum foil and hung a bell from it.
I didn't put aluminum foil.
When air goes through an attic,
Right,
dear,
it's going to shake that bell.
What it was.
Is that for the ghost or the aliens?
Yes.
The aliens were in that house. I'm telling you, we had a house with aliens. But tell us your haunted house story, Gary.
One of the houses I grew up in, we were only there for 6 months, and we didn't leave early because it was haunted. We left early because my parents bought a home. We were renting that home. And so we had moved in, and the lady who had been living in there, she was by herself, and she ended up having a stroke in the hallway, and nobody found her for 3 days.
Oh, no.
So she was still alive. She was still alive, but I'm
goodness.
telling you, yeah, she was still alive.
Wow.
But she was in a home at that point. But I'm telling you, that house is haunted. I don't know if it was like residual from what happened to her, or what. But like one time, my mom was combing her hair. So I should also back up. These people were Dunkards, right, which are kind of like Amish, but kind of like a hybrid Amish, right, where they're allowed to drive a car, but they still make their own clothes. Yeah, and so they were like that. So one time, my mom was combing her hair, and she looks down the hallway, and there's an Amish guy down there, a Dunkard man, and she goes, "What? Oh, hi." So she's moved out, blah blah. You know. She's not here. She's living over in this one place. She's walking down the hallway, and the guy left and goes down towards the kitchen. So my mom follows him, and then he was gone.
Oh no!
He was never in our house.
That.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and so another thing was my bedroom, particularly, was always freezing cold, and my digital clock would flicker often. It would just flick. And I had that clock for several homes, even after that home, into the home we moved to, and I never did it again. So was it the outlet? I don't know, but it was still kind of coincidental. But every day at 3 o'clock, not every day, every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, because by that time I had driven my bike home from school, and I knew I would just wait outside the front yard, because if I didn't, in the hallway, you would hear this kicking on the floor. Like someone was having a stroke or a seizure in there.
No.
And I'm just wondering if it was that lady.
Yeah, maybe.
Every Wednesday
That's
at about 3 o'clock.
right.
There is nothing in that home that would have made that noise. But I swear to you, it was kicking in the hallway. And you always felt like you were being watched in that home. My parents said the same thing after we moved. Nobody talked about it when we were living there. Because I guess we didn't want to freak each other out. But all of us constantly saw things out of the corners of our eyes that would run down the hallway, or just like, I remember one time I was building this like sugar cube thing for a math class, right? We had to build these castles out of sugar cubes. I think we were trying to find like the square area or some crap. And my friend Tim was sitting across from me, and I saw this lady run out of the bathroom down the hallway. And I looked at Tim, and Tim was like, "What?" I was like, nothing. Because, I didn't want to scare my friend. He was spending the night. But it was stuff like that non-stop. And it always felt like someone was watching you. Always, always. And I tell you what, though, what's weird is I really miss that house.
That's so funny.
And it's not because I'm scared. Even my parents to this day, like, we were all kind of freaked out. But there was just something about it, just like, I kind of miss living there. Because, like, it felt like you were being watched at all times, but you felt safe.
If
that made sense.
I don't like that.
I never felt unsafe.
No.
It's calling you back.
Yeah, no kidding.
You guys didn't show it fear. We were talking last week about it's called mimics, and if you start showing it fear, that it feeds off of that. So probably that sound was mimicking what happened there.
Well, it could be.
Fear.
It could be. But I tell you what, I remember, out of all the homes I've lived in, I remember probably a lot more days living in that house than I do the other houses for some reason. There's just something really about it that just...
How weird.
I really like that home.
Yeah.
But every day was something. I swear to God, every day felt like something.
Could not do that. I could not. But you remind me a lot of Kaysen, because Kaysen's had experiences, and I would never know until like I was talking with an adult and like saying, oh yeah, that happened to me. And Kaysen started to tell us this story of he saw something and he knew that it wasn't supposed to be there, and I was like, well, how come you never told me this? And nobody else was home. What were you gonna do? Freak out? You had other kids. I'm like, oh, okay. So he just knows, like, don't tell mom because it's just gonna get worse.
We'll wind up in a hotel tonight.
Yeah.
That's the way he said it. What were you gonna do?
She'd be calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's what she'd be doing.
That's exactly right.
Just turn on FaceTime and stay on the phone.
Right.
Watch me sleep. Do not. Don't close your eyes.
You think we're joking? Ask Corey. I get phone calls in the middle of the night. He comes in and wakes me up, or not wakes me up, and says, "Oh, you're awake?" Yes, I'm on the phone with Heather. Yes.
I called Dad last night. I didn't think it was that late. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and he's like, "Well," he had said it like 3 times. I'm gonna be. Don't. He was kindly trying to say like, don't call or text me again tonight, but I wasn't.
Oh, you told me you were going to be sending the songs or something as they were sent to you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to bed. Do not send me
anything. I said, just wait till tomorrow and send them all to me at once.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm an old man. I got to get my sleep.
I don't think I sent them to you.
I said, thank you. And then she sent them to me and called me, and I don't know if she's hungry. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to say this to everybody out there. If your kids call you, it don't matter the age. If your kids call you, answer the phone. You just don't know.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Now, that being said, my kids do not call me.
Well, if we do.
When she's 30 yards away, she can walk. If it's that important, come knock on the door.
I think I called them a dozen times today. Finally, I was like, listen, I'm not going to call you back again today, but sorry. I don't even know what it's for. Sometimes my phone was just ringing nonstop today, and then I felt like I had to reiterate everything. I don't know. All right, Gary.
Today, I'm going to hear you in the middle of the night. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
No. Go ahead. Share with us your horror movie review.
So, we're filming 2 movies at once, so I did not...
You got to show them.
I didn't get a chance to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, so we're going to go... But we'll
after the great reviews of 3 and 4, you couldn't handle 5.
No, I didn't have. I would start to watch it, then something would happen, like the phone would ring, or blah blah blah. Something would happen, and I'd be taking notes, and then I'd get distracted, and I just didn't get to it.
So I'm going to tell you, the other night I was in bed, and I'm the only one. Janice is in Louisiana, so normally the TV doesn't come on, but I went to bed fairly early, and I thought I'm going to watch a little movie. Well, I put on. You told us to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Yes,
that's the same as watching 1 and 2. Or
whatever. Oh yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but I fell asleep because. But I think it was just because I was in bed and I was laying down or whatever. But I did finish watching it.
You did finish it?
I did. I went back and watched it.
Would you give it a 5?
It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, I don't grade them like Gary does, but I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. Yeah.
It is. It's a fun movie.
He's just a real bad actor.
Well, that's what made it great.
Yeah.
Gary, it kills me.
I loved it.
I don't know why I didn't know this part about him before. I said, let's make a movie, because he loves the bad actors.
Right? Yeah.
Having a great time.
Yeah, he was just a bad actor, but it was a good movie. It was
he only made 2 movies, and then he went off kind of into obscurity, and he did not know that there was a cult following over that movie. And then one day, if I remember correctly, one day like a convention called him and said, "Hey, will you make an appearance out here?" He's like, "For what?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, for Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2." And he's like, "You're kidding me." And I guess he went, and there was just a whole large crowd of people.
Really?
And now he just keeps going to these conventions,
Nice.
and people bug him to death saying, "Say Garbage Day."
Garbage Day.
Yep. Yep.
Hey,
We do have a clip on that.
there is, oh my gosh, I can't think. There's quite a few actors like that we get emails and stuff from saying, "Hey, we'll come to your haunt and sign autographs." And I thought, well, that's kind of weird, but I don't want to pay somebody.
A lot of people do it. No, that's probably a topic we should discuss because a lot of people do it.
Like 4 or 5 of them there signing autographs and stuff.
And they had lines, like people go for them.
Well, I'm sure they would charge for autographs, but it would also be a draw to your haunt.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
People say, "Oh, you got so-and-so actor out there. Oh, let's also go out that and get his autograph."
So the way that it works is you pay for them to come out.
Oh, really?
So they don't. So the autographs would be free for the people, but you get to use their name as advertising and all that. So.
Hey,
They,
might be something.
I don't know. It was,
I'll get you.
but I did watch it.
Good, I'm very proud
and
of
it
you.
was good. It was a
5 stars.
I guess. I guess I could say it was 5 stars. Maybe out of 100 or something. He was a bad actor. And then at the very beginning when he had the flashback, or I guess it wasn't the very beginning.
The flashback he can't possibly have because he was in a car seat. But yes.
No, 2.
Yeah, part 2. He was the brother in the car seat.
He was in the car seat at the time in part 1.
Right, in part 1, he was the younger brother in the car seat, so he was an infant.
Remembered that.
Then in part 2, it's the infant who's now grown up,
Right.
doing the killing, and it's like he wouldn't remember any of that.
Well, he says he did. He says
because
he was there.
He
He was there. So when the mother got killed, and that because the Santa slashed her throat.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and he literally had this knife, and he puts it on her neck, and the next thing you know, you see a red piece of tape.
No.
I need to rewatch that.
That was the blood. That was the blood.
That
Was a red piece of tape. I'm
I
thinking
need to rewatch
we could
it.
have made this movie.
Oh yeah, no, we seriously could have. We really could have.
Oh, goodness.
we got the bad actors. I got red tape.
No,
we could have made this.
We
movie.
got surprisingly great actors.
Our actors are good. I'm very
We
impressed
got
with them.
really
Yeah.
good actors for
Yeah.
never doing it before. They're really good.
Yeah.
One of them is a little bit like her lines are a little dramatic, but she's great. Like one of them is just a freaking natural. Like she just everything she does is just natural, but she doesn't even know it. Like she's not even trying to be the star.
We were filming a scene, and we were discussing a script change that you wanted, and she starts talking. Starts saying the lines, and I thought she was just making stuff up as she went. I looked at Heather after she was done. I was like, "Can we use that?" And she's like, "That's what I wrote." I was like, "Oh!" But it was so natural. It sounded like she was just going blah 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 blah. Oh, that girl is good.
No, because Gary's like every other man in my life. He's like, if it comes from me, it can't be okay. But if it comes from anybody else, let's go with that idea.
I did apologize, and she was right. It really did help the story.
We don't say that out loud ever, Gary. Ever. That's why you're still single, Gary.
No kidding. Damn it. I just need to stop talking. Okay, so here's another 5-star movie if you haven't seen it, Tony. All right, this one stars William Shatner.
All right.
And he's fighting tarantulas in a small town.
Oh, you lost me there.
No, it's a good movie.
I love Shatner, but spiders I don't do.
Well, these are some special spiders. All right. I didn't make any notes from this, but I've seen it about 100 times, so we're just going to go with it. All right. It starts off with William Shatner riding a horse, which is very badass. And he's riding and he's chasing this one chick, and then the chick gets off the horse and he gets off the horse, and they kind of wrestle a little bit, and you're like, oh, dude, he's going to make out with her. And then you realize that they're kind of flirty looking at each other, and then you realize that there's something they shouldn't be doing. You're like, is he trying to steal some girl's or some dude's chick, And so then they get back on their horses and they kind of shrug it off and they don't do anything, and they ride away, right? Well, I'll get back to that part in a bit. So then he's doing some other things. I don't remember what. But he goes over to this one dude's house who's having some trouble because, like, this one guy, he looks like an old guy. He looks like he's like 70 years old, and his wife looks 30. So at first you're like, oh, that's his daughter, but it's not. That's his wife, and he seems like a pretty cool dude though. and he has cattle, and his cattle are starting to die. So he calls up William Shatner, who goes by the name of Rack, and he's a cowboy, and he's also a doctor. Mm-hmm. And so he goes out to the cattle ranch, and he's like, "Hey, man, your cow's got bumps on them, and it looks like bites." And the cattle owner's like, "I wonder if it's from that spider hill over yonder." So he's like, "Spider hill?" Which, I don't know about you guys, but I've never heard of a spider hill, but they're there. Mm-hmm. And so they go over to look at the spider hill, and he's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if spiders could have took down that cow." So they kind of forget about it. So William Shatner leaves, and he goes into town. And he's driving his car, and he pulls into a gas station, and this one lady, she's like super hot. And she's at the gas station, too. She's like, "Hey, can you fill up my car?" And he's like, "Sure, baby." And so he starts filling up her car with gas. And she's like, "Can I use the restroom?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's around the corner. But the women's is closed. You got to use the men's." And she's like, "Okay." So then the real gas station attendant comes up, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm filling up this lady's car with gas." And she said, "I also want you to check the oil." And he goes, "Oh, well, where's the lady?" He goes, "In the men's room." And he goes, "Well, why is she in the men's room?" He goes, "I don't know." Ha ha ha. And he drives away. So now he's at his house, and the sheriff is at his house. And the sheriff and him are drinking beer. And they're having a discussion about cattle getting bit by spiders. And then the mayor shows up. And the mayor says, "Rack, you're not thinking about closing down the town, are you? The 4th of July is coming up, and we rely on those 4th of July dollars." I could be wrong on the holiday. And Rack goes, I don't know. He has a spider hill. And then the guy goes, then Rack goes, "It might be a disease going around. We don't need a pandemic of cattle getting sick with the spider bites." And then the sheriff or the mayor's like, "Well, you just think about it." Then the hot lady shows up, and she's like, "I'm looking for Rack." And he's like, "I'm Rack." And she's like, "Ha ha, you tricked me." He's like, "Yeah, I sure did." And she's like, "I am a doctor from out of state who's here to look at your cow pandemic." And he goes, "Well, I think it's spiders." And she's like, "Oh no." And he's like, "Yep." So they go out to the cattle guy house once again. And he's really messed up because now a few of his cows are dead. And they start looking at the cows, and she's like, "I think these are spider bites." And Rack is all, "How does spiders kill a cow?" And she's like, "I guess they did." And so they walk out to the spider hill. And now there's many spiders in the spider hill. And they decide that these spiders surely are killing the cows. And they need to spray. So the mayor is like, "I don't care what you do. I want it all dead. You're going to spray it." And the lady from out of town is all, "No, don't do it. You're just going to make it worse. These spiders are migrating because of other people who spray pesticides." And he's like, "I don't care." And so they spray. But they hire this guy who's a really good cop duster pilot. And he's flying his plane, getting ready to drop the chemicals. And guess what? There's spiders! And they're on him. And he starts moving around the plane funny. And they're like, "What's he doing up there? Doesn't he know that's dangerous chemicals?" And he crashes the plane into a barn. And William Shatner, Rack, tries to get in to save him. But it's too late, and he's dead. So they go out to eat. And they're at the restaurant, and they're having some beer, and they're talking about what a bad day it's been. And he brings up his niece and how he hopes the spiders don't get her, and blah blah blah. And we find out that the woman that he almost kissed at the beginning of the film is his brother's wife. And it turns out, though, his brother died in Vietnam. And he only made it 2 days. And so he's been trying to take care of his brother's wife and the daughter. But I think we know what he's been trying to do. Next, they said, "Well, let's go out and visit him." I don't know why, I forget. And so they go out there, and they realize spiders. Oh no! And the wife is dead. But they save the kid. And there's spiders all over. They're in the truck, and they're all over the lady, and the lady got bit to death by the spiders, and they're like, "Oh no!" So they go into the truck, and now there's spiders in the truck that they just came in, and they shoo the spiders out. William Shatner gets bit, but it's not going to hurt him. And they turn on the truck, and they drive away, and they go into town. As they get into town, it is mass panic. People are driving their cars all crazy. The townsfolk who don't even look like they live there are all bent up, and they're foaming at the mouth and bloody for some reason, and they're dying in the streets. And then the people are surrounding the cop car, and they're shaking the cop car for reasons. And then those people are getting bit. And then Rack finds his way to the restaurant, which is also the hotel. And they go inside, and they start pounding out the doors with wood. Anything they can find. They're trying to block off the doors because of the spiders. And William Shatner's getting bit multiple times. People are getting bit all over, but it doesn't matter because they're okay. And then they're coming down the chimney, so they start a fire, and then There's spiders everywhere. It's a bad day. The people inside are getting bit. One person says, I gotta get out of here. And he goes out, and then the spiders bite him. But apparently if you're outside, the spiders can kill you out there because he died. But the people who got bit inside are fine. And it's just bad, and they lock everything up, and they make it through the night. And they wake up the next morning, and they look out through the curtains and the slats of wood, and William Shatner goes, my God. And you see a wide shot, and the entire town is covered in spider webs.
Oh.
The end.
Oh my God.
5 stars. 5 stars. 1977 Kingdom of the Spiders.
How big was the spider hill?
Wait, can I?
It was big. It was a hill.
How big was the spiders?
The spiders were normal tarantula size.
Oh.
Tarantulas.
Wait, what?
Is that the one where he pulls the spider out of the cereal box?
Yeah. No. That's arachnophobia.
Oh.
Yep.
No.
No, this is Kingdom of the Spiders. I highly recommend watching it. 1977. I have it on Blu-ray.
I gotta ask you,
For $2.
Yep.
what do you give arachnophobia?
Oh, arachnophobia. I would give that one a 4.
I've never seen either one of them, but it's
Okay,
just fun.
arachnophobia is good.
Is it?
Yeah.
But not 5-star good.
No, because it's missing the cookiness fun. Now, don't get me wrong, John Goodman's in it, and he's kind of a weirdo who's this kind of badass bug sprayer dude.
He's a badass.
No, he does. He plays a badass in it. He kind of saves the day with his chemicals and poison, which didn't save the day in Kingdom of the Spiders.
No.
It made things worse.
So is there a Kingdom of the Spiders 2?
There was supposed to be a Kingdom of the Spiders 2, but events happened that led up to it not happening, and they never came around to making it. But there was a script.
So everything just gets nothing, like there's no real ending?
No.
Oh, I don't like that.
Nope, 5 stars.
Oh, Gary. So Gary is like, your scale is flipped from what I think most people would be. Like.
This movie is pure enjoyable. I enjoyed this movie so much. My dogs enjoy this movie, so I have a movie screen in my bedroom that is 8 feet tall and 12 feet long, 12 feet wide, and I have a projector in there, and it fills up the entire screen.
And it really impresses his Yorkie.
She does. She watch. If you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I post pictures, and my dog really enjoys watching these great movies as I do. She's my little movie buddy. But when horses come on and all that, she's just so excited.
Nice horses in the room.
Love it.
Yeah,
5 stars.
That's
That's gonna be the name of your review company now.
5 stars.
and 4 paws.
4 balls.
That's
Pause.
funny.
Kitty
Oh,
paws.
pause. Oh, pause. I thought you were trying to get drunk while he's reviewing. No, he's
no.
sober. He just likes stuff like
No,
that.
that's just me. I've been trying to turn my bedroom into kind of a Hollywood video or a blockbuster video. Now, I don't have any signs or anything, but I have about 2,000 films on DVD and Blu-ray right now, and I'm always adding to the collection.
So, ladies, if you're interested in
You'll never get bored at my house.
the nostalgia of Hollywood video or blockbuster interests you, email us at hauntafterhours@gmail.com.
Nice.
And we've gone through this before, but ladies and men, or just...
No, just ladies. No, it is just ladies.
Okay, just sorry, guys.
Unless you dress as clowns.
Yeah.
No. I have a lot of gay friends, but I'm a straight person.
Yeah, that's okay. When you started saying how you were doing your...
Oh, it's okay.
When you started saying how you were going to do your bedroom, it reminded me of during the haunt season this year, Pedals was telling us how he he's extra with everything he does, right? He's extra with everything he does. If he's going to get baptized, it's John the Baptist that's going to be dunking him in the river, But he was telling us, like, no, I'm going to give this person the Cody King experience. What is that? And he's like, like disco lights and music. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He has a whole production that's going to go on if he's going to bring somebody home from a date.
My
I'm
goodness.
like, just pedals. Anyways, so I'm thinking, what the hell are you two doing decorating your rooms? I didn't know where you were going.
I tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with Pedals right now. He is working full time in the Grand Canyon in Colorado. He comes back.
Yeah, he's been there.
Yeah, he comes back Thursday, and then he'll be gone again for 22 days.
Oh, yeah.
working inside the Grand Canyon on a water line. I think it's hecka cool.
Nice.
He sent me a video of
A water line. What are they trying to do? Fill it up?
maybe.
But they helicopter in, huh?
Yeah, they helicopter him, and that's his commute.
Yeah.
He gets commuted in with a helicopter. They stay at these kind of like bungalows. They have a personal chef that takes care of all their meals. Their meals will sometimes are helicoptered in if they're working. They'll fly in and drop
really
them
cool.
off. He's got a cool experience going. He's making bank.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. He's living the life right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know where you were going to go because you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. So I was thinking, well, what? Like, I just thought maybe you two were sitting together planning your bachelor pads.
No,
or something.
no.
That's so funny.
No.
We both happen to have
No,
conversations.
that's why he's my BFF though.
That's funny.
My bed's on the floor, no frame. Sometimes there's sheets, sometimes there's not. I don't care.
You need sheets if you're okay.
I got nobody to impress.
Yeah, but if we're gonna be trying to solicit girls, you gotta have sheets.
Ladies, I do own sheets.
Yeah.
Satin at that.
1800 thread count.
You go home right away. Like, what the hell? Let them
Corey.
Maybe that's the problem. Is they're going home too quick. Maybe they need to romance each other or get to know each other before
I gotta meet somebody before I can try to even romance anyone.
What do you know? You were from way back in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Though he's got 7 kids, maybe I should listen to his advice.
Right.
And a lot of baking powder.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of baking powder. On that note, friends, if you're still listening to us, obviously
We
you
don't
shared
know why.
something that piqued your interest. We're going to ask that you share our podcast with all of your social media platforms. And if you're interested in being on the show or have any input or insight, send us a message at hauntafterhours@gmail.com. In the meantime, let's stay connected and remember,
Do it for the hunt.
hunt.